All right, so for my first tip is night vision goggles or flashlight. Well, you could do either or. It's up to your preference. I always like to switch it up, especially depending on what scenario I'm running and which map I'm running. But for example, you're going to want to know the pros and cons of each one. So night vision goggles, your ADS is slowed, right? But without night vision goggles and whenever you're running the flashlight, you have normal ADS. This in turn means that rocking an aiming grip is actually extremely useful while rocking night vision. Aiming grip, it's gonna be your friend. All right, so if you do rock night vision goggles, if you have enough points to throw on an aiming grip, trust me, you're going to be at a huge advantage, and I feel like this is where the aiming grip is actually probably the best within the game. So whenever you're rocking the flashlight, you're definitely going to want to assign the key to toggle the flashlight on and off to an easy accessible key. If you're on PC, if you're on console, not sure how that works, but just make sure you have easy access to the flashlight. You're going to want to turn it on and off very frequently when you're using it, because if you keep it turned on, all you're doing is leaving a target for your enemy. Your enemies can not only see the actual flashlight itself, but say you're around the corner or inside a doorway and you have your flashlight turned on, they're going to see the beam of light and they're going to know somebody's coming. So if you just keep it off and just kind of clear corners by tactically using the flashlight, it's going to be extremely useful. It's the same thing with the infrared flashlight. You're going to want to do the same thing, clear dark corners or just large spaces with the flashlight, and that's going to help you out tremendously. Okay, up next is laser sight. So laser sight's actually pretty useful if you want to use it. It is pretty costly though at 2 points for night maps, but the regular laser sight, you can't see it. You can't see like the actual laser sight beaming out of your gun. You can only see the dot wherever it's pointing, and that can actually be pretty useful. You can also keep it on and off, but for hip firing, I definitely don't mind it. But the best part is infrared laser sights. So let me just press resupply real quick. So you have the infrared laser sight, and this is what you can see in night vision. You can actually see the laser coming out of your weapon. Now, some of you are thinking, this might be detrimental to the player. If you get spotted just like a flashlight, players can see where you are. And yes, this is true. That's why you want to keep it on and off whenever you're using it for hip fire. But the main use for the infrared laser sight is actually teamwork. So say you see an enemy up top, you're working with a couple buddies, all you got to say is, hey, I saw an enemy on my laser. You're using it to point at objectives or areas like windows to kind of give your teammates a heads up on where you're kind of aiming or wherever you're covering. This can help tremendously with teamwork, and it just leads to some really cool, badass tactical fun. Up next is equipment. So we have incendiary grenades, flashes, and Molotovs. So incendiary grenades are probably the most useful equipment within the game, and that's because whenever you throw the incendiary, it's actually blinding for night vision goggles. You can't see anything past that. It's almost like you can use it as a smoke for people who are using night vision goggles, or say you want to throw that inside an objective and force all the enemies inside the objective to not use night vision goggles. That is totally a course you can roll with. Maybe you just want to rock a flashlight incendiary combo and just tackle the objective. Then this is what Molotovs kind of do to you. So it's blinding, yes. I wouldn't say it's as bad as an incendiary grenade, but yes, Molotovs definitely do help blind night vision goggles, and then there's kind of quite the radius to it. So, flash grenades. Using that flash grenade actually helps clear entire courtyards, just because you can hear the enemy and kind of give a sense of direction of wherever they're hiding, peek corners with a flashlight, and it leads to more tactical gameplay. Of course, because it's night maps, the whole atmosphere slows down tremendously. It doesn't run like a normal insurgency match. Everything is slowed. So taking it slow with flash grenades in certain alleyways, pathways, objectives is really going to help, especially if it's very dark and not lit up. Also, confirming kills is a little hard at night, so you're going to definitely have to revert to using sound to be able to confirm kills sometimes.
Pretty sure I dropped them. Can't really see.
So 2 attachments that are very useful. tracer rounds and flash hider. So tracer rounds are not on all weapons, but if they do have it, I always suggest throwing it on, especially because it's 0 points. And then flash hider is 1 point, but that reduces muzzle flash when firing. So it's kind of like I was saying earlier, whenever you keep your flashlight on, that is a target for your enemies to shoot. Well, whenever you have a flash hider, it reduces the muzzle flash off your gun tremendously. If you don't have it on, trust me, whenever you're firing, the enemies will see that bright light coming out of your gun, and it will just be a target. And then with tracer rounds, at nighttime, it's hard to see wherever your bullets are landing. But with tracer rounds, that helps tremendously, and you're able to make adjustments on the fly. I always throw on tracer rounds whenever the gun happens to have it. You'll never see me without it. And then infrared flashlight. I don't ever really rock infrared flashlight in the map unless the map's really dark. Like Summit, I'm always rocking an infrared flashlight because there's a lot of corners where it's just way too dark. Like you can't see anybody right here, even with night vision. The flashlight, infrared flashlight with the night vision goggles definitely helps a lot. And then just using the tactics of tactically turning it on and off are just going to be extremely useful and helpful in scenarios wherever it fits. So the next attachment is actually the night vision scope, and I'm actually going to be using the multicolor with this as well, because that's kind of like the same combination I like to use for it. But we move to a map like Summit where it's really dark and it's very useful to actually show off the night vision scope. So without it, you can use it, right? You can kind of see it's nice, it's great, but on very dark maps, what I like to do is actually I like to double stack. I like to use night vision and the night vision scope, and you can see a lot more clearly in dark areas. This is very useful in the very right scenarios. It doesn't work with all maps like Refinery or Farmhouse. Those are just way too bright of maps. But if you're rocking a map like Summit, this is going to be extremely useful, especially at range. Now, in terms of what night vision to actually use, that is all up to preference. Now, I know that there are certain scenarios and maps that do have a slight advantage on which, night vision you're rocking. Like, for example, the multicolor is extremely useful on snow maps just because you can see everything. All the white in the snow reflects off, thus leading it to really clear images through multicolor. And then there's like certain maps, maybe like Tell or certain areas of colors of building that amber might be better than others. I can't really tell you full-on examples with those to be specific, just because for me I don't really care, and I kind of just always rock the green anyways, just because tactically it looks really cool, and it just reminds me of classic night vision, and really at the end of the day it doesn't make such a big difference unless it's like a snow map like this. Is that green is just my preference. It just is the color for me. If you want to use amber or phosphorus, that is totally up to you. It's whatever helps your eyes spot the easiest target. I want to also quickly talk about smoke grenades and chem gas. So with security, whenever you're facing insurgents, they always have gas masks, right? Well, because there's night vision goggles, they're not all going to be wearing gas masks. So using smoke grenades could actually really help revealing positions of wherever your enemy is and an objective. So if you kind of smoke out the objective and you kind of listen in, you can kind of get a general direction of whoever is hiding an objective. Maybe it's a dark corner or something. You hear them coughing. You toss a grenade in that direction or an RPG, yada yada. You get it. You can use some tactics doing that. Also, with the chem strike, if you're an insurgent using chemical strike, you have to be careful because your own teammates do not have gas masks. So you could be hurting your own team just as much as you're trying to prevent the enemy team while using gas. But the pro side of using gas at night is that the enemy team really can't tell if it's chem or normal smoke sometimes. If they have the night vision goggles, they're not going to be able to see the chem strike color, which becomes very useful for the insurgents. So if you place it right, maybe in an alleyway or something, not directly on your own objective, but blocking an alleyway, they might blindly run into it without thinking. And I've seen it time and time and again, players running into chem strikes because they have night vision goggles on and they can't tell the difference.